connecting Facebook as well, because when I was preparing my slides, I was trying to look for old pictures. It's just that the slides are actually not up here. I was trying to look for old pictures, and like you said, you can actually connect with people from secondary school. I left school a long time ago. So I was trying to go back, but I couldn't remember my password because I don't really use it like that. But yes, I agree with that. IG is like what's in vogue right now. Yeah, it's a very good platform where you actually connect with anybody, and you can literally go see people that you wouldn't have thought you can actually have connections with, and you can just say, oh, my BFF doesn't. I have someone on IG that is not seen, but we actually talk consistently. So then for TikTok, I don't even have an account there because the distraction is actually a lot. So even Instagram, I'm people trying to remove myself from it. So the whole idea of the social media platform is actually being, not understanding, yes, take out of opportunities, but you also have to remember that there's something about people being present, having friends physically, aside from people having friends online. But when you have people around you, it means a lot. Because most times we are so buried down in our phones and we don't connect with people physically. So just basically putting a platform, or rather a balance. So thank you very much for participating. I'm going to be telling a lot of stories on my journey I'll start from secondary school to where I am right now to basically share the topic. Basically, my topic is on the value of relationships, communities, and platforms in charting one's lives. So, I want to say that you guys are very lucky. I wish I had this opportunity. I was telling someone, I was discussing with her that imagine if I was, maybe when I was 15, 16, and people were telling me these things. I'm happy where my life is right now, but I know I would have probably gone further. So I want to say thank you. I want you to say thank you to the team for putting this together, that you can actually hear people come and talk. Do you know that in some places, for me to even hear people talk, I have to pay for it. And some people you even have to pay in dollars. So I want you to say that now that you're actually hearing me now, I don't want you to take it for granted. It's important that maybe you're not even aware, you should have notes. I commend you for having notes. I guess you're probably taking notes on your phone. But I would say that I want you to have, when you're coming tomorrow, come with your book and a pen and write down the things that you know that really stood out for you. When you write down things, it sticks, so that when you go back later, you can actually, say, okay, these are the things I intend to do later on. So it's important that you take down notes. And also, I want to also commend the people that came out to present for your team. Big shout out to you guys. Well done. Alright, so I'm going to start with, who is your tribe? Now, when I'm not, after secondary school, I wasn't really a friends person because they dealt with me in secondary school. So I wasn't open to friendship at all. Now, when after secondary school, I actually did not go into university immediately. I was at home. I would say at home per se, but I didn't go into university. I think I was at home for like 2 years before I went into university. Now, while I was, that period, what happened? What did I do? I was so dedicated to God because I grew up in a Catholic background. So I remember very well I used to go to church every day and I kept praying to God. I did so many things. I dedicated my life. I prayed about my future. Dedicated my son. I have a son. I dedicated my son to God, saying that, God, my son will serve you. I did so many things because I was so desperate. I wanted to leave the house. I didn't want to stay in the house anymore. That was year 1 of waiting at home because of jam. Then year 2, I think I had to now do like some sort of lessons during that period. So when I got into Communal University, I was so focused because I knew what I wanted in life. But the thing about life is that you might know what you want, but you might forget easily. So what I did was, I asked God to help me in terms of the friends I wanted to have. Now, I was very deliberate on the friends that I wanted. And now these friends, what I did was I attached myself with very smart people in school. Okay, I don't have any of my classmates around now. So I studied business administration, but the friends I had were in economics. These people were very, as in like first class, brilliant people. I surrounded myself with those people because I just knew that if I'm around those people, I knew that my life was going to change. I was very intentional about that. Now, I'm going to read a particular quote to you. The quote by W. Clement Stone says, "You are a product of your environment. So choose the environment that will best develop you towards your objective. Analyze your time, your life in terms of its environment. Are the things around you helping you towards success, or are they holding you back?" So I already knew from 100 level, I had a carryover. And it was a wake up call for me because one, I was just like, I know what my parents went through because school fees then was actually on the high side. Because compared to probably going to the University of Lagos, if I was going to uni, I'm sure school fees would have been maybe in the 50,000 or even less. But going to Government University, I knew that I could not disappoint my parents. So having a carryover was not acceptable. And it was the only carryover I had in school. So you can imagine my GPA was like, I think 3.4 or so. And when I saw that this was not the life that I don't know what I'm going to go and tell my parents that they have to literally gather so much money to send me to school. I'm the first one. So what I did was to change strategy. I had to choose the right people. I knew them. I was always hanging around them. I was not ashamed. Because somehow I knew that they were going to work up for me. And I saw the results. Let me tell you that although I did not finish in the first class, but I finished with 4.4. So you can imagine someone that had what a carryover at 100 level. But because of the people I was hanging around with, I wish because I had pictures to actually show on the screen. Because of the future, and I didn't want to disappoint my parents. I said I was going to, and this is the strategy I'm using throughout my go to university. Remember I told you where I'm coming from. I was bullied in school, in secondary school, but I was not cut out for friends. But when I saw that I needed friends for the future, for where I was going to, I had to change my mindset and align. And I said, okay, I'm not going to allow what happened in the past to hold me back. If I can see that this particular person is going to where I want to go to, then I'm going to attach myself to that person. And that's what I did. I'm telling you that all my friends all finished in the first class. And I will tell you, I will have finished in the first class, but because of the carryover, you know very well, I'm sure very well, that you eventually know when your scores have a way, or your grades have a way of it correlates, and if you don't start well, it will have an impact on you. So I think that is one of the reasons why I didn't finish in the first class. So it's very important that your friends, you choose the friends in line with where you're going to. Now, another thing again was, remember I told you now that when I was at home waiting for JAMB, and JAMB was jamming me, I was going to church a lot, and like I said, I was a Catholic, and so I was like, I really prayed. I said I was going to wait, even in terms of even I was not going to give myself to any man until I was married. So those are the things I said. And this was before I entered school. Now, when I went into Cornell University, I had a boyfriend. And now, maybe I told you that it was based on the people I had around me. The people I had around me were very focused people. They were driven. They were godly people. So when the boyfriend I had then was not telling me that, so this was like, I think during Valentine's Day, and I think the way Cornell University is, they would prepare like a symposium around that period, basically preach to you, tell you, oh, don't do this, don't do that, because really it was actually on high at that time. You see the girls actually leaving school because we're not allowed to leave school unless you had a reason to leave school. And this particular guy said, oh, come, let's go out of school. Of course, if I'm going to follow you out of school, I know why you're telling me to follow you out of school. But thank God for the friends I had. I said, oh, I cannot go with you. Guess what happened? Can you do guess what happened the next day? it broke up. And it was not too long. Exam was like maybe 4 days around the corner. I did not cry. Like I wasn't happy. But what I did was I channeled my energy to study my books, to read for my exams. I don't know if you can, like there's the way you'll be so angry. The anger that I felt, hey, I was so angry that, and thank God for my friends, like I said, God has been faithful. When it comes to friends, God has been faithful. I carried that energy, that anger that was inside of me. I used that to study, and I came out with flying colors. Glory to God. That's what about what alignment of goals, knowing where you're going to, and not letting anything distract you. Now, when it comes to your tribe, it's important that you know yourself. You know, there's something about if you don't know yourself, if you don't know who you are, if you don't know your strengths, if you don't know your weaknesses, when people are going this way, you want to follow them. And I think that's what actually happened to me in secondary school. That it was as if people are in cliques and me, I want to join the clique. And it was because I didn't know who I really was. And I think, like I said, everything happens for a reason. I think the reason why maybe staying at home for 2 years, it helped me grow. It helped me to discover who I really wanted, what were my goals, and it worked. It made me understand who I really was, because I knew what I wanted, what I was standing for. I knew that I was not going to stand for anything. I was not going to, because this person is going this way, then I should follow. Instead, people are going this way, I'm going the other way. I'm not going to join the bandwagon. It's very important that you know who you really are and stand for what is really right. Like I said, this is the best time to start asking those questions. You know, you said something about YouTube. You can actually go on YouTube. Like you guys have access to phones. When I was your age, I didn't have access to, because coming to the don't allow phones. I didn't have access to phones. So now you don't have access to phones, you have access to the internet. Use your time to do your research. Discover who you are. If you have questions, you can go and say, okay, what are this? There's something they call self-awareness questions. Sit down with yourself and ask those questions before you go to the next level of your life. I hope it's clear. Do we have any questions? Now, so thank God I finished from Covenant University in flying colors, glory to God. There was no time to go into the labor markets. That's another story. This life ends. It's one step or the other. Like, there's always something. When then it was jam, Abby. It was jam. Then I passed jam. I thought it was not school. We're now struggling for grades. We now graduated. Then we now came out. We're now looking for a job. Do you get? But the thing is, the person I'm actually married to, my husband. There's something he said. He said he knew from day one what he wanted. He knew that he was not cut out for 9 to 5. He wants to have his own business. He knew it from the beginning. And he knew it from a very young age that this is what he wants. That he's not cut out for, yes, there's some people that cut out for 9 to 5, like me. I like to do 9 to 5. But there's some people that they know what they want. And it's actually a good thing. But for me, I was happy that I knew what I wanted. But I think for me, just being around someone that knew what he wanted, that he wasn't put out for a 9 to 5, it opened my eyes to so many things. It reminded me of the importance of knowing my goals. And I remember when I was in school, I said I actually wanted to be a banker. And I think the reason why I wanted to be a banker was, remember when I talked about the environment? My parents were bankers. And somehow it influenced me too. So right from middle school, I said I wanted to be a banker. And that is actually what happened. I've been working in the financial space for a very since NYC. Because even for service, for NYC, I also served in the bank. So I said all of that to say this, that it's important that you know where you're going. Start now to define your goals. Remember what I said. In defining your goals, you need to know what you really want. Sitting down and asking yourself questions. Sometimes some of us, we don't like to sit down and ask questions where our minds are everywhere. But I'm telling you that when you ask this question, when you're self-aware, you will go far. you actually go far. It's very important. Now, so that was for work. I knew what I wanted. I wanted to be a banker. And after that, marriage came. Now, for marriage, my husband, my boyfriend, he said, oh, that he's, because we were still very young. Remember I said, very what you want. So he said that, oh, he was amiable. He's an Igbo man. He said he was willing to wait. Like, he wanted to get married when he was 29, and then I think we were like 24. And he was like, am I willing to wait? And I said yes, because one, I wasn't ready for marriage. You don't know, like this, you might not know, but a lot of people are like trying to rush into marriage, like, because that's what's happening, that's what's trending, class of 2024. But it's important that you know what you want. So when my husband told me, oh, that he was not ready to get married, if I was actually ready, I would have probably left him. But I knew that I was not ready for marriage. I knew that I still had to do a lot of growing. Because going to sit, or going into a man's home, it's different. Like, you being an individual right now, you can actually achieve a lot. And I wanted to use the opportunity to achieve a lot. It was during that period that I did my master's. It was during that period that I became a chartered banker. I hosted, what do you call it? I'm trying to remember which other example. I was really after post. My parents always say that I'm always looking for exams to write. But I wanted to use the opportunity to gather as much opportunity, or learn as much as I can. It's not like marriage will stop you or anything, but trust me, there are restrictions. Did you know why? Let me tell you something. Do you know that currently right now, I'm currently training to be a chartered accountant. Like, I'm writing ICANN right now. I'm in the final stage. But should I tell you something? I've been writing this ICANN since I got married, and I've been married for a long time. So this is something I was trying to avoid. I just knew that being single, being young, I could achieve a lot. I remember that those people that I would have classes. We would be in class for a very long time. This is after university, when I was trying to be a banker, chartered banker. I'll be in class for hours, from 8 a.m. to 5 p.m. Nobody was bothering me. I had energy, I had strength to do what I was going to do. It's not like I had to go home and prepare stuff for my husband. But basically, I just wanted to use the opportunity to learn as much as I can. But I'm just comparing that time and now. Sometimes I used to wish that I had written my ICANN exam when I was single. And not now that I'm being married, I'm married with a son. When I'm coming back home, I have to think of what I'm supposed to do, which is very possible. I'm just saying that when you're young, you have the opportunity to do as much as you can. It is better to start early than to start late. It's better to start early than to start late. Like I told you now, I wish I had written my ICANN exam since. Why is it now? At least I'm not old, but it's now that I'm really trying to finish my ICANN. You see us right now. I have a class on Saturday. I'll be in class from I'll be in class from 8 a.m. to 5 p.m. What are we learning? You sit down for a very long time in class. But just like imagine if you're so young, you maximize your youth. You won't be going through the stress. Do you get? So it is important that you have this in mind when you're setting your goals. Know now. Sit down. Who am I? First of all, start with who am I. Then when you now start going, now discover yourself, who you are. Then from there you now set the goals. You know where you're going to. Your next 5 years, your next 10 years. It's not too late to start planning all of those things. Have you guys heard me? It's not too late. Start now. Start now. So I've told you about marriage, right? I got into marriage. Then I realized that this marriage thing people are not really saying so much, because you hear things like you're not supposed to share stuff that you're going through with outsiders, which is very true. But the thing again is there's something about having a community. Now, I was married, I was working, and my spiritual life was actually struggling. I'm a Christian. It was a lot, because where I was working was really intensive. I used to work in GT then. And I remember then that you leave the office, then traffic was really bad. I used to have festa. You have to leave, because I used to work as internal control. You leave the office very late, late as 7. Sometimes I get home 7 p.m. I'm getting home like 12 midnight, and I have to be up again by 4 a.m. because festa is far from here. You now have to leave the mainland to the island because you have work to do. So a lot of it was just vibes. But I realized something that, remember, you can't do life alone. You have community. So what did I do? I asked the question. I asked one of my friends. I said, please. I have a question. Why are you guys laughing? So what did I do? I saw a friend that seemed to have a life all together. Remember, like, this journey called life, I've had to rely on different people. So what did I do? I reached out to, I saw this friend of mine, funny enough, we actually attend the same church. And I told her that, how is she even doing this? Because I think that she already had a child. How is she living life? How is she living? And it seems as if her life is composed. And she said, oh, she had a group of people that they all come together, they share ideas, they talk about different things, and they pray together. I was like, oh wow, please, I would like to join this group. And that's how I posted the picture. There's actually a picture. And that's how we became friends. And I will tell you for a fact that I am happy that I became friends with these people, because they changed my life when it comes to like my spiritual life. Because spirituality is the main thing. Spirituality is the main thing. Nothing comes before spirituality. Spirituality is the core of your entire being. And I realized that the reason why my other aspects of my life was shaking at that time was because my core was shaking. I didn't have a good relationship with God. My relationship with God was more of what can I get from Him? Or another prayer I used to pray then was, I was not in a very interesting environment. I don't know what it talks. But my prayer point then was that, oh God, please let my boss don't see the error that I might commit. Those are like my kind of errors. Or rather kind of prayers. Instead of me thinking big or praying about my future or praying about the next 5 years or 10 years, see the way I was myopically praying about certain things. Do you get? So it's important that you have the right community. Now when I plug into this community, I started to pray. I started to study the word of God. I started to hang around like-minded people that knew where they were going. And it was such an amazing experience, or rather, it's still an amazing experience, because now I am friends with this woman. My husband is friends with her husband, and my son is friends with her children. Like, the community has grown. Like I said, like, we can't do life alone. That's the essence of what having tribe and community. Also, I want to also mention I'm going to read a particular verse, Proverbs 13 verse 20 says, whoever walks with the wise become wise, but the companion of fools will suffer harm. Remember what I said, that when I was in Communal University, that I knew I had a carryover, and I knew that I had to align, and I attached myself with what friends that were first class, and that's how I was able to almost get the first class. And also now, even in life, I was struggling spiritually, and I had to look for people that were going my way, and I attached myself to them. And I can say that the rest is history. God has indeed been faithful. So I want to say, who has any question? Do you have any question? Please just raise your hand, please. Do you have a question? I'm going to call, if you don't have any question, there's another one idea. If you don't have any question, I'm going to call you and tell me 2 things you learned from this class. So, if you have any question, you already know who I'm going to call them, they know themselves. So, do you have any question? Any question? Any question? Any question? Alright, what are the 2 things that stood out for you? Anything. To introduce yourself now. If you have any question, please signify. Alright, so I can pick anybody. Alright, you. Okay. Yes. Alright, yes. Please help me divide my 2 things to that. What are the 2 things that reach to
not rush to form a relationship with people.
You know what?
Rush to enter a relationship with people.
Okay.
And focus on your studies.
Focus on your studies. Is that what you learned from this? To focus on your studies. Alright, and you? What's your name and tell me what you learned?
My name is Ella, and I learned that you should know yourself and know the kind of people you associate with, and not let yourself get corrupted.
Okay. Yes. What's your name?
My name is Fashla. Right person. I will add value to your life. I will not give you I want you to ask you.
Thank you very much. So any questions? Questions? Alright. So it's important that you're very intentional about your relationship. You're very intentional, like I said. Your environment, before you know, you actually start looking at your environment. So you have to be very intentional about people you're hanging around. I know very well that you two are not going to be like, Madam, your own is too much. But trust me, 10 years from now, you wishing you listened to me and you acted on what I said. So it's important that you're very intentional. Be focused on, first of all, know who you are and know where you're going to. It's not too late to start planning your next 5 years, your next 10 years from now. From now. Remember I told you that when I was waiting at home for jam that was jumping me, I knew what I wanted. I was so focused. Like I said, I knew that like at the end of the day, all things were working together for my good. Maybe at that time it seemed like it was so frustrating. It was actually frustrating. But looking down very I'm like, thank God that actually happened because it ticking me up. I knew what I wanted. Imagine if I entered school from secondary school. I'm sure I would have just been, I don't know. But I think that period of waiting at home, it had to reset my mind. It reminded me that my parents were not just playing, that they had to work really hard to send me to the best school in Nigeria. So I had to do my very best. Nobody told me anything. Like I told you guys are so lucky. Nobody told me anything about being in the right relationship or hanging around the right people. But I just knew that maybe this carry over. No, we cannot continue. I must attach myself to first class people. And that's how I was able to excel in school. So it's very important that you know where you're going. Understand yourself and align your goals with like-minded people. Like you will see that most times, right now, I see myself, and it's also good to dream. I see myself working in the United Nations. I intend to go into politics later. And like just at the slides are showing, like there's a picture where I told someone about having a dream of going into politics later, and the person recommended a school. And before I knew, I was there. I was in that school. So it's just about, just like I said, surrounding yourself around the people. And right now, so I went for a conference, and this was me talking to someone, and the person recommended me, and I went for the conference. And when I went for the conference, I met with some APC people, and like I said, I want to go into politics later. What I did was call the person, and I said, sir, please I want to start from the grassroots. I want to start from local government. I want to learn how things are done. And the guy was open to it. This is all about being around the right. It is don't know what you want, just go and go. No, no, you just be, before you go to like, time has gone. Who else could remember that the year started when it was not just yesterday? Now we entered Ember. So just know where you're going. Invest in yourself. She said something about YouTube. YouTube. Guys, maximize it. When you identify where you're going, you can create, who knows ChatGPT here? And who uses it? You can actually use it. You can create a curriculum. You can say that, oh, this is what I want to achieve. ChatGPT, give me a plan on how I want to be a content creator. This is an example. I want to be a content creator. Give me a curriculum or a plan on how to develop myself using videos on YouTube. ChatGPT will give you that. It will give you links. You can put that prompt and it will give you all the information that you need. So don't waste your time. Trust me, you guys are so lucky. Maximize your time. Don't waste your time on social media, on TikTok, on Instagram, doing things that, don't be, I learned something recently. Don't be a consumer, be a creator. Let it be that when you pick up your phone, you're picking up your phone to create something and not to consume. Because the thing is that what you're watching is people are making money out of it. You are there watching. And time is going. And before you know it, later on you'll not be like, ah, well, my life is passing. What am I doing with my life? So it's important that you maximize your time. Sometimes I always say this, nobody has 24 hours. How many hours do you have? It's not the same 24 hours. But it's achieving so much. So you guys are the next Dangotes. You're the next Femi or $10. You're the next, I'll give you a woman now. Alakija. Juliet, you guys are all the, this is the time to start. They say the best time to start is now. Just making a decision and saying that, no, me, my life is different. My life is different. And it's so easy. Because now, you guys are so lucky that internet is at your fingertips. You can decide to, oh, I want to achieve this. So there's something that we used to do then in CU, in Cornell University. Bishop Gibo. Part of the things he used to do is, he would tell you to go and read the biographies of people that are successful. That's a good start. When you read these things, people that, have you seen, I don't know, I've forgotten his name, there's this guy that cannot walk and does not have legs, does not have hand, but he's an excellent speaker. He's doing so much more. So imagine me, and my hand is, I can walk, I can do so many things. Why is my life not as excellent as his own? So those are the questions you should be asking yourself. If people that are not in very conducive environment are excelling, what about me that I'm in a very conducive environment? Why am I not giving my very best? So those are the questions you should ask. Like I said, you guys are so blessed. You guys are so lucky that you have this opportunity to hear these things. When I was young, I did not have the opportunity. I had to learn on the job, and also, like I said, cheat code. Attach yourself to someone that has won that thing, that is already doing what you're doing, and you just follow them. Alright, so I think we've come to the end of our session. So any final? Yeah. What's that thing that stood out for you? Two things. Because I feel like you were just soaking it in.
Alright. Personally, I learned that I'm supposed to surround myself with the right friends. Because, can I give an instance? Yeah, because when my first semester in school, I had some friends. They were really good to me spiritually and my academics and stuff. The second semester, they changed my room, and the friends I had were not as vibrant as the friends I had first, and so I found myself slacking. So during this holiday, I just go back together with my former friends, and I was telling them, and they were getting all emotional. They were like, they also noticed that I also changed, that I just surround myself with the right friends, and so on and so forth. So we created a group where we all come together at the end of each day, talk about things we did during that day, how you pray, how you read the Bible, and stuff like that. So yes, having the right friends around you really helps.
All right, thank you so much for sharing. So I also want to ask a question. Is it possible that you can, are they far away from you that you can, because it's important that you stay close to them. Proximity is very important.
It's not that they are far away per se, but like, see who changes rooms every semester.
Are you saying?
Yes.
Oh, okay.
So I guess that's why we're in different halls. So I guess that's why we were just far from each other and stuff like that. And we're not in the same program at all.
Okay.
Mass call, economics, accounting, these are me, everything was just so different. Yeah.
Okay, I guess I understand. So the thing is, it's good that you also created a group so that you, but it again is always meet physically as well. Very important. And sort of your story is almost aligned with mine, because really it was more even the people that had around me 100 of the first semester that really impacted my life, really. So just hold on to them, because those friends I had then are still my friends until now. So still hold on to them, considering that you know very well that they impacted your life positively and you can actually see the change. Alright, thank you so much. Thank you. Thank you.